Well, soon Darian shall arrive. And then when Darian arrives, we'll just get started. And while I'm doing that, let me cue up some music for this area.
Wait.
Y'all get backstory.
Yes, much backstory. And given what we'll be talking about, I feel like using this song will be fitting. It's not the loudest, it's supposed to be ambient music, but given the city it's tied to in the game it's from, yeah, very fitting.
I don't recognize this.
It's the overworld theme from Jack 2.
Ah, okay.
Haven City. Which, despite the name, really sucks. What was that, Jinx?
Who said they were gonna be late?
Snack.
Darian and Snack.
No, Darian said he'd be here on time. Snack was actually going to be late.
6 minutes, so.
Yeah, that's why I said like when he gets here, we'll just start because everyone else is here.
Finally.
Well, perfect.
But Kel,
the
would
last
you?
couple weeks with half a crew.
But Kel, would you like to know what Celestine was doing that whole fight last week?
Didn't you tell me he was chasing people around?
Yeah, but it's better because now you can see it on the map. Because zoom out to see the whole battlefield. Everyone started like way down here, and then Celestine went from this square to here in one turn. Because he has the Benchador cape, and there was a dude on either side here. You chased after the one who was here around this rock, and then he died like right there. And then you saw Padma after this one, so you just jumped up here and started beating on him. He just like went from, whoop, and then the rest of your turns were just bark, 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 bark all over this way.
It was great.
Mm-hmm.
It was not a good day to be.
Not a good day to be that dwarf.
He was having a very bad day. He just could not run.
Yeah, no, like if the dwarf and the Mikote who's dead right here, or hold on, like this guy right here had actually been able to do things, they could have been really dangerous because they put down like some weird ass AoE shit because they're fucking alchemists.
But nope, they got deleted.
But no,
Well,
one spent the whole fight.
Starting the fight, 3 AoEs dropped down on him in a matter of 18 seconds.
Yeah, because it was Fenlis with Ice Storm, then Janna with just hard cast with just a base casting the meteor, and then you followed up on your turn with the fucking Tentai Hentai explosion.
Yep. Let's fuck you guys.
Mm-hmm. There's like some serious bass over there.
All right.
New year. I feel like it's been a while, but we are finally back. We are finally back on schedule, guys. So you guys can expect some very cool videos coming soon.
And there's Darian.
Hey,
I have
Darian.
no idea who's watching, but it's like a YouTuber.
It's Cal.
You might be a little confused.
Yeah.
The green line, the green circle betrays him.
Yeah, it does.
Uh,
And Darian's
I
here.
can't see it because I have stuff covering it, so.
Darian.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Now you can hear me.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yo.
Mhm.
that's what we were checking.
And while we wait for you to get on Roll20, I'll just get started with the recap for as we start episode 17 of our merry little campaign of chaos and mystery. Mm-hmm. Ain't it believe we've been doing this for 17 weeks so far? Holy shit. But
None of us have died
Amazing.
yeah, Jinx has been
Don't
fucked
tempt
up a
the
lot.
fates.
yet.
Well, you say this to the guy who fell down last session and spent the entire fight except one round getting chased around by Eos with the fucking med kit.
He was too. It was hilarious.
Pretty sure I'm the unofficial tank of this game.
Despite the fact you have, I think, of the melees, the lowest AC.
Probably.
Or tied for lowest.
I was say I'm technically melee, and my AC's like 16.
Yours is lower than mine.
I'm a bard.
Well, of the primary melees, it's him. But anyways, when last we left our merry band of misfits, they just finished slapping around the Dullahan armor of Stonehearth that was also carrying the ignition talon, both of which have since been claimed because the Dullahan spell that was used to animate the armor was summarily kind of broken. You got some interesting story, heard a spooky poem that I can't recite off memory to save my life. Also because I forgot to watch episode 16 to hear what I said. Anywho.
Anyway.
Well, I could have watched it earlier today. But after that, you all made your way out, split some loot. Everyone got like 3k gold.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, because you guys went one way, the two redheads went the other way, and when the redheads came back,
out
like,
on
hey,
the redheads? Damn.
yeah, the Rhea came back with a huge sack of gold. Like, hey guys, check what I found. We're gonna split it when we get back to camp, and it split 3k to everybody. Items were identified. Fenless has a new pair of shoes.
Are they Air Jordans?
Might as well.
If Air Jordans were good at sneaking, then yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're called the boots of elven kind, and you have advantage on stealth checks to move quietly.
Anything elven is beautiful.
Yeah. And this is the thing I didn't mention because you weren't here to hear it, and I wanted to hear your response to it. But when you put them on, they like color change themselves to fit your outfit.
Nice.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. But following that, some minor yammering between the party before the next morning came around. And as you guys were like getting breakfast, you heard something about a commotion. You know, stuffing bacon in your face or a piece of toast in your mouth and chugging your OJ. You found Jonas, and then Aldoskin went to go check it out. Some dudes whose bodies you can see all over the map right now apparently had their bus break down a little bit of ways on their way back from some expedition on the other side of the mountains.
That's what they wanted us to think.
Yeah, but fortunately for you, as the dwarf was spinning these lies, your big dragonborn friend Aldos critted on his insight check and didn't believe a word they said.
For good reason.
For very good reason, as you all found out when the Makote alerted the dwarf to the presence of Padma and Arvin. And after the dwarf inquired about them, he then sicked his posse on you. In the ensuing fight, opening hostilities were were in order. Fenless, Jana, and Zakiel blowing up half the enemy battlefield. Because y'all three motherfuckers were the first best initiatives in the game at that point.
We weren't having none of that shit. We were just like, yeah, guess what, guys? Fuck all y'all.
Yeah, no, I think like the opening move before any enemies got to do anything was like roughly about 50 to 60 damage across the entire enemy battlefield before they did anything. A few turns in, however, you saw that two dudes who were back over by the bus, one was familiar. You saw him before. He's over by the giant orange F. You saw him before in the bottom of the Trifecta ruins, the weird curly mustache guy with the red coat. Skara summarily deleted his blood from existence during the fight. Don't worry about him.
Not just him, his blood.
He took 116 damage in one turn. He was pretty fucked.
That was fucking amazing.
That's what happens when you combine haste with divine smite and a giant magical greatsword that's also on fire.
I think I critted one of them too.
I think you might have, yeah.
He did.
The dude survived with like 2 HP, tried to limp away on his turn, and Scar just wasn't having it.
Like, no.
He just there was also another guy with Mr. Belsitane, who, after a dude with a literal demon growing out of his spine appeared, said kill. And it seemed to cause a sort of sense of deja vu in Jana. And after she moved in the line of sight for this other guy, he promptly turned around, ran to the bus, and tried to get the hell out of Dodge. On his way out, Scar fired 2 fireballs at it because he couldn't keep up even with haste, because buses are fast. But the fight ended with you guys restraining one dude who got pretty fucked up and is currently holding like his hand because Fenlis sliced off his ring and pinky finger on his left hand.
Awesome.
So he was having a bad day. He was in hold person, and once he made his save, he just started immediately surrendering. He knew better. And you can hear the bus skidding away as this guy's standing there clutching his hand while still, handcuffed by Zacchio. So what's up? And he's just... he's like very tightly gripping his like injured hand to keep the blood in.
Adma is saying nothing because she's very pissed off right now.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. So, what were you guys really trying to do here?
As he starts saying this, Jana begins, like those of you who are like staring in the direction of Jana, so basically just Zacchio and Skara, see her begin to like do some arcane gestures. Then y'all motherfuckers hear a giant explosion behind you.
Did you blow up the bus?
You see her recoil and look in the direction of the bus. It has indeed exploded. She's like, I wasn't intending to do that. What?
What were you intending to do?
I was trying to put one of my little sensor to scout inside the bus to see what our associate who was trying to get away was, but it seems, your attacks actually hit the gas tank, I would wager, given the size of that fireball.
Well, he's not getting away.
If he's still alive in there. You don't know. But there's now about 700, 800 feet away, a blown up and burning bus. The guy looks in the direction of the fireball. Okay, he like gestures over his shoulder, his left shoulder in the direction of Padma. You look, he's gesturing towards the dead dwarf. Frank knew the whole details. I got the basic gist because I'm just here to like look scary, be muscle. We were sent to pick up a guy, green coat, windy hair. He was supposed to have someone and something with him, and we were gonna take it and bring it back.
Like 8 weeks?
And it was... this stuff was supposed to fucking end my goddamn debt. Not... He, like, grips his hand a bit more. This. Why did I do it?
Boy, there are a lot of people getting into trouble to make money in this world.
Well, at least this one actually knows what the fuck he's doing.
He lost a couple fingers. He didn't know that much.
Well, he lost fingers in the fight just now. So,
We'll meet
you
him
know.
again later. Learn from my mistakes!
Victor. No. But he's Frank knew the most. Him and he points with his foot towards the dead Makote below nearby him. Him and Yazek had all the details. And that guy, he nods his head towards the very dead body of the short fat guy in the red coat with the curly mustache. They knew the most. I got told that Then they sent me to go prep everything, and that guy walked in, and they started talking about some other plan or something. I didn't listen because I like keeping my ears on my head. Because, well, ow. You don't want to push your luck with the Deslins.
Padma goes rigid.
Who are the Deslins?
Arvin interrupts the guy before he can say anything. Mafia bosses. To put it succinctly. They operate out of Marnat. I don't know what all they trade, but I imagine it's all sorts of unsavory things. The guy with the wounded hand. Just, yeah, that. I got the fingers in all kinds of the criminal world pies, so to speak. Or, well, not so much putting fingers in the pies, they're making the damn pies. Analogies are hard. Did they say the name of the guy? Did they say the name of the guy we were supposed to meet? What was his name? Started with an A.
Oh, Jesus. Fuck.
Arvin chimes in. Arius? The guy nods. Yeah, that was the guy. Arius, whatever the fuck. We didn't get his last name. You see him at this point, like, now trying to, like, bandage his hand with, like, a piece of his coat, just because, like, he's pretty sure he's fucked, but he doesn't want to die to bleed out at the moment, so you see him haphazardly bandaging himself with his coat while his hands are bound. It's actually kind of impressive for a guy who's handcuffed.
I don't feel like wasting my blood to light my blade on fire. Can someone heat it up here?
You know,
Armin's like, I have a more direct approach, and you see his hand start arcing with lightning and just moves it close to the dude's face. What'd you want to ask?
It was less for asking more. I'm gonna cauterize his fucking wounds.
well,
This
there's
is
just
like
like points that lay on hands to take care of it. Then,
just 2 points.
I mean,
You don't even really need 1 point, so
that one's good.
yeah. So you just walk over and, like, rather forcefully, because this guy still has caused you some trouble, you sort of jam your hand across his wound and it seals up, and he's like, "Ugh, thanks."
Yeah, at least you won't bleed out while you answer our questions.
Yeah, that's usually the best you can hope for in these kind of situations. Here, John, I pipe up. Who is your friend in the bus? That guy. He's now, like, doing that, like, counting in the air thing with his good hand. He was the one who got us the bus. I met him while we were loading everything up. He seemed really antsy about getting to business. Didn't say a lot. He knew Belsatane. He points again to the dead guy with the mustache. He knew that guy. And, well, they had, their hush-hush conversations that listen to at your own peril. And, he was the one who drove the bus here. He was going with purpose, so I think he knew the most about the mission. Or at the very least, he knew the most about what we were coming out here for.
I'm gonna start heading towards the bus to see what's going on over there.
All right.
Let's see.
You still had some haste going, so you got a little bit closer, but then you had to stop for a sec, catch your breath from the haste after effects, then you truck back on. And after a second, you hear some footsteps behind you. It seems Jono wants to come investigate with you. the wounded guy is like, friggin' ow. He looks at Padma. I'm guessing, judging by what Frank was saying, you've had your own share of bad luck with these guys?
That's one way to put it.
Yeah. Yeah, I know that. But hey, you're still breathing, so you're better off than I'm gonna be here soon.
I wouldn't say that.
Like that sort of like bitter, resigned, defeated laugh. I'm gonna fucking die when this is over. I know how this is gonna end.
And so far, no one outside of who's directly involved, namely Padma and Arvin, have no idea what this beef is, right?
At the moment, yeah. Like, to be fair, Padma knows it all. Arvin knows some. And then the guy looks at Arvin. What about you? Arvin just sort of shrugs. I just know her story. If they had a beef with me, news to me. And he's just like, that's even worse, man.
Care to tell us what this beef is? I'm kind of curious.
What? The guy like points at Padma, hers and his beef? I don't know. I know what their beef with me is. That's why I'm here.
What is their beef with you specifically?
Ever have a good streak at a gambling casino and then it all goes real south? Yeah.
No, but I've heard stories.
Yeah, I'm the poor schmuck who bets on a sure thing and then the horse gets a cramp. Too many bets in too many bad places, and now it's like, hey, work it off or we just kill you and take all your shit. And I'm like, yeah, I'll do that, because they're like, hey, we need a dude to go around and collect all our stuff who won't backstab us, and if we've got your life on the line, that'll work. So it's like, hey, yeah, just be the collector dude. It totally won't go wrong, and you won't get your fucking finger sliced off.
Based on what he told me earlier, especially because we know he was meeting Arius,
Mm-hmm.
I can infer what and who he was looking for.
Yeah, like the this is what you can get, at least from how it sounds, is like these guys were the extraction team for Arius for after he did after he accomplished his goal in the domain of conflict. Which, from the sales pitch he's given you, it sounds like the plan was pick up Arius, Janna, and the Armor of Stonehearth and get the hell out.
Yep.
So, you would be correct about that chain of events.
I'm trying to think of if I have any further questions, but I can't think of anything. I know what he was here for.
Well, you know what he was here for. You also know that he identified 3 people who know more than he did.
True.
And all of them are dead, so they can't object to you rifling through their pockets.
I'm gonna go searching through fucking pockets.
Who are you going to start with? Because he identified the dwarf, the dead Makote you're next to, and then the guy under the giant F.
He seemed to know the most, so I'm gonna do the guy under the giant fucking F.
Alright, roll investigation.
Bitch.
Oh, he's here one sec.
17, not
Okay.
bad.
That's pretty good.
Before I walk towards him, I'm like, Padma, can I trust you not to kill this guy for a few minutes?
Sorry, just BRB'd, so you just get a sort of a curt nod.
Very well. Walk away and give you a 17.
Okay. As you get over to the dude, first thing is, unlike the last time you saw this asshole, it's definitely actually him this time.
Nope.
You could tell by the fact, yeah, those are some large gashes, and that's a lot of blood actually staining his coat this time. So, no illusions, or if it is, that's some dedication. But, you find a spell book. So, you know, like, well, that's kind of useless to me. So toss it slightly to the side, start making a pile. Find his wallet, which identifies him as Alphonse Belsatane.
The Alphonse Belsatane.
Mm-hmm. He also apparently doesn't believe in carrying bills with him because the wallet's also empty, apart from his ID.
Huh.
Or at the very least, it's just there. But, you know, there's no, like, dollar bills you can loot from it. Sadly.
Dollar bills, y'all. Dollar.
$1 bill, y'all.
Last thing you find is you also find 12 gold in one of his pockets. He just had some pocket change.
Pocket change.
And in the other pocket, in the last pocket you check is a notepad.
Pizza has been attained.
Nice.
Yay, pizza.
Pizza crusts.
What does the notebook got in it? Flip.
Easy enough. Part of it appears to be. At first, you're like, "What the hell is this? This is like a diary." And then a few things like it's like you just see at the end of it like there's a little note that says, "Save this monologue for later." Another one is a note. Make sure you stab Leonard. Remember to stab Leonard. See. Don't stay in the room with Scardine for too long. Take care. Pick up Arius. Make sure the armor isn't haunted. Report back to the Deslins. And then just like something about a drow? Question mark.
And remind me, the Dreslins were the mafia bosses, right?
Deslins.
Deslins, sorry.
DES land. But yeah, they're the mafiosos. And the way Care is spelled is like the name that was ascribed to you by Arius, K-E-R. Which means that Mr. Mysterious Dude who seems to have potentially gone up and spoke with the boss was Care. Maybe.
Possibly.
We'll find out when the Lodo makes it to the bus to investigate.
Kind of nothing I already knew.
Yeah. You do note, however, the one with the question mark drow one seems more hastily scribbled and at a later time than the rest of the notes.
It was a last minute addition.
Seems that way.
Alright, let's see. There was this guy, also more.
Yeah, that guy,
And
Makote.
which other guy? Where was the third guy?
I'm gonna put a line between the last two who know things. These two.
Nothing
Toddless.
else.
Roll investigation to search his pockets. Wow.
She is too mad.
Mm-hmm.
There's angry.
She's like kicking the body and not actually investigating.
Alright. I try and kind of like calmly push her away so she stops kicking the fucking body.
Angry, undyne.
Got no issue with overkill normally, but come on. We got work to do first.
Snack searching this dude. Good job, Snack. Also, good job, Zakio. We'll start with you. This guy, not hard to find. A bunch of really complicated, like, alchemical shit. Like, some weird... Like, it's sort of familiar to you, because, like, you recall vaguely some stuff from, well, what your uncle did back in the day.
Yeah.
It looks similar, but not quite as spooky, because, well, you're not a little kid anymore. But it's like this weird gauntlet contraption that seems to be able to quick mix some things if you put vials into it somehow. You don't have a fucking slice clue how to work the damn thing. There's a set of there's like a little hip box pouch on his belt.
Okay.
It's got a bunch of different vials in it that all have a different label on the like the little stopper at the top, which is just so he could look down, pick one, and then do something with it.
I was gonna say, as far as proficiencies, I have proficiency with alchemist supplies, so I would maybe recognize some of these. I don't know if that affects anything or not, but
it means you can identify alchemical substances just from like this guy seems to have his own unique labeling though. Or at least because you think that these are like not the base compounds, but these are like the readied mixtures he's created.
I can make a mildly educated guess, but ultimately,
yeah,
I ultimately don't have a for sure clue.
you can at least identify which ones will probably explode or poison you.
That's probably good. Good thing.
Yeah, you can identify which ones are probably dangerous and which ones you could like shake violently and not have kill you. One of them is kind of obvious though, because it has like the little healing cross on it, so you're like, that's probably for health effects or something. It's the only one you're certain about, is that one can heal.
Yeah.
You also find this guy had no pocket change. He did have an odd little pendant that looks like a weird like fire and ice yin and yang symbol.
That symbol is totally new to me.
Well, it's like shaped like the yin and yang, but there's no like dot on them, and it's just one side is fire, one side is ice.
Right. I don't know what this thing is.
And then you don't find like any convenient notepads on this guy, sadly.
Damn.
You do, however, find a bag of trail mix and a pack of chewing gum.
Yeah. Dramax, mine.
And you look at it, you open up your spell. Ooh, there's some meat in there. Oh, he's got the good shit.
Aw, shit.
Cat snacks.
While I'm snacking on my trail mix.
You're newly acquired food.
Right.
Padma goes back to kicking the body.
Yeah, all yours. I don't stop her at all.
You just warn her about the pack of doom he's got strapped to him,
Just don't kick that.
because it could explode.
She just takes the pack off, sets it aside, and goes back to kicking the body's head in.
Damn, I thought I was brutal.
You also watch Arvid like pull the alchemical gauntlet thing off this guy because he's like, interesting.
I'm making an Arcana check on this amulet, see if I sense anything magical about it. Obviously nothing specific because I don't have identifier.
Given how this thing will work, yeah, you can roll Arcana to see if you can figure out what it does.
16.
Oh, it you can tell because it's like sort of sort of radiating magic. It feels, as the symbol suggests, like fire and ice mana. So you suspect, given how it doesn't feel like the you've dealt with attuned items, like the abilities of them feel far away when you check them. This one feels like anyone could pop on, it'll do a thing, and the thing seems to be minor fire and ice spells, like very minor. We're talking cantrips.
So it feels like I get extra spells, or it's gonna boost spells.
It feels like while wearing it, you will know how to cast one. You'll be able to cast 2 cantrips, 1 fire, 1 ice. You don't know what they are yet, but you could, just from examining it, you could tell you'd be able to cast some rather minor spells from it.
Owie, too much pizza sauce.
That's the twin.
Keep it or not to keep it? That is the question.
Well, while you work it out, you can at least stuff it in your pocket. It's not that big.
Yeah, I kind of tell the party out loud as well that, hey, anybody can't feel that they need to want this, otherwise.
Padma just keeps kicking the body.
Arvin looks at it, shrugs, and goes back to checking his gauntlet. Sneck, meanwhile, is expertly rifling through the pockets of this fucking dwarf over here, like, holy shit.
Right?
And, he finds...
I'll just slip the amulet on then while he's investigating.
You can now cast the Firebolt and Ray of Frost cantrips.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I should get my loot list open because I know where the hell that item came from. Quick loot list. It is it's on D&D Beyond's homebrew section. It's the Amulet of Fire and Frost.
Ah,
And yeah, while you're wearing it, you can cast those 2 cantrips. Because it doesn't require attunement. Sneck, meanwhile, looting this dude. And like, as he's looting this guy, you just see Sneckbot like standing there, just like slowly amassing more things pulled from this dude's pockets. Like Sneckbot's got like a heavy leather satchel now. You hear some like light clinking. Sounds like there's a few potion bottles or something rattling around in there. And then like Sneck's just like putting other stuff in the satchel that he's pulling out of this dude's like coat pockets and shit. You hear from Sneck, Celestine!
Why?
He like throws something at you, and it's a bag of beef jerky.
Ooh.
jerky.
Dog's hype.
Yeah, Celestine has +1 beef jerky now. Snacks for the pupper. Then the last thing he pulls out is... looks like the guy's phone. To which Snick starts messing with it. And then there's like... and then you hear this like despondent sigh. Oh, for shame. Didn't even put a password lock on it.
Fucking rude.
Fucking scrub, more like it.
It's one of those touchscreens, so it's like he just swiped his finger and the phone activated. Like went off the lock screen and shit.
I
That wasn't
don't
even like
have
one of those
a
little...
password on my phone.
I have one of those little specific swipe order lock thingies on mine. Mainly so it doesn't turn on in my fucking pocket because I've had that happen enough.
Get on my level, I have a thumbprint lock.
Yeah, right?
I
Mine
couldn't
can't do that, sadly.
Nah.
But yeah. So next, like, looking through the phone. Don't know any of these numbers. Is there a notepad? More fiddling. Wow, this guy plays Candy Crush.
Beat his high score and just put butt in there.
Legit.
Butt was here.
Well, the guy who owns the phone is dead, so...
Then he's rolling in his not yet made grave.
Keep looking. Okay, I found notes. He like kind of holds it up to his master to look at it. Got checklist checked off. Get bus, get on road. Get out to dig site. Incapacitate dig site, retrieve Arius and armor. Head to usual meeting point. Get paid, go home. Tune in for CSI.
Huh.
Well, the checklist stops being checked off when it reaches incapacitate camp, so we clearly stopped it from getting that far. You then see Snek load the phone into Snekbot's mouth, pull out his gun and say pull, and then he shoots the phone out of the air.
Keep shooting!
Pull!
Now, does the spell damage level appropriately? with my
Yeah.
level? Okay.
Yep. It's like exactly how the cantrips would.
I think. Yeah, I think they're gonna wait.
All right. Lolo, you were checking out the bus?
Yep.
All right. One second, let me finish chewing on this bite of pizza.
Twin pizza.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So while they're back there looting the three big important dudes for all their shit, you and about 12 seconds later, Jonna make it to the bus. And it's still like mainly towards the back, still on fire, but well, you're fine. You're like, fire's nothing to me. I'm a fucking fire ganassi. So you sort of just move aside around the flames. It's like you don't give a shit. You find the front door, or well, the opening door on the side, and just kind of get the sword in there and poof, pop it open. And there is no sign of like a charred dead body in there, which you think there would be given how it's in the driver's seat, and the driver's seat looks pretty fucked.
Guess I'll do an investigation check.
Yep, roll investigation. Oh, baby. Jonah's also going to investigate, but I won't need to roll that because fucking hell, Lodo's on point here. You're very certain that the damage you did to this thing is not what caused it to explode.
The damage that I did, or the damage combined?
All the damage you did to this bus did not cause it to explode. You know this because you found, as you're investigating it, you clearly see a point of origin explosion in the back, like the scorch marks and everything. So there was a bomb in the back of the bus.
Okay.
As you're looking around, you also find what you think is part of the detonator, but like the little button that like makes it work is like snapped off, like it was suddenly violently taken away.
Huh.
And as you're looking at it, like, wait a minute, this is a clean enough line. The fucker blew the thing and teleported at the same time.
Got it. That's what I was wondering.
And he just, since he had the detonator in hand, it just took part of the detonator with him.
Does the bus have like a glove compartment that I can rifle through?
This is a... Yeah, there's a glove box you can rifle through, and poking through it, you find some like travel brochures, the registration for the vehicle. It was a rental from just, you know, your equivalent to like Enterprise car rentals or whatever.
Okay, I'll grab that registration paperwork.
Okay, you got that. There's some brochures. There's an unopened air freshener in there. It's like nothing special.
Got it. Okay.
And you rifle through as much of the bus as you can, because like you can deal with the flames easily enough. Especially considering they're not like magical flames, so it's really nothing too terribly much that'll hurt you. If there was other stuff in here, it's like all it's either charred and destroyed beyond recognition, or just wasn't there to begin with.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because after a little bit you start smelling like gasoline. So this was definitely a bomb intended to cause a lot of fire and like destroy evidence. So you're like you're not like the best at like the crimes investigation, but you know enough from like just some of the shit you've done, or at least from your training, that like, okay, I know enough to not like fuck up things for like when the actual trained professionals get here, but like there was definitely an intent to destroy incriminating things or traces of, you know, people being there.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I'll get out of the bus then.
As you were searching, you see Jonna finishing an incantation, then sort of looking the bus over. Nothing magical left in there besides, well, she like gestures towards the fuel cells, besides the main tanks and probably the hydraulics.
The tanks are still intact?
Well, to be fair, the gas tank is just, you know, crystal is mainly, you know, elemental crystal like fuel cells and shit, but they're still volatile, so you don't want to blow them up too hard or hit them with too much explosive shit.
Yeah,
but like there's also like things need oil to run without, you know, overheating, so that also kind of went up a bit.
Yeah, definitely.
So, you know, but like she's definitive, like there's nothing magical left on the bus besides what makes it run.
Okay.
And then I assume you catch her up as you two start heading back.
Yeah, we'll just head back to the party.
Okay. Catch the party up. Okay. So yeah, you guys now know that whoever was driving the bus made a fucking explosive teleport getaway.
Dick.
And then some. Because Arvin looks at Jonna. Seems that the man who drove the bus was the man who kidnapped you. And John like sort of tenses. Definitely preferred if he hadn't gotten away then. And then she like kind of looks at the injured guy. You have anything else interesting to say? Arvin just shakes his head, and the guy like sort of looks at her, arches an eyebrow, and then just sort of shrugs. And since we're actually no, we're not done on this map yet. There's like all the clues you guys I think could find are kind of exhausted at this point. All it would be left really is just to loot the other dudes and then get the hell out of here.
Yeah, I'd like
Might as
to
well loot.
Also, I'd like to, what's it called? These insect things, I'd like to investigate them more.
Oh, the bugs?
Since they're not normal bugs, it seems like.
Mm.
Well, with the laser beams.
You'd be surprised on this planet.
Padma's just gonna sit by a wall now.
At the very least, I'd like to harvest the crystals out of their heads.
Okay. Okay, so if you guys are going to start looting people, start rolling me investigation. And that includes for figuring out the bugs. Well, investigation for looting. For figuring out the bugs, that would be more nature or survival. Oh. Oh, damn, Kel's on top of it. Okay. Okay. Was Zakio gonna try to loot anybody? No, Snack is. No, he's not.
He thinks he is.
Don't worry, Snackbot will also investigate. Good job, Snackbot. Beep boop, they're dead.
Actually go consult Padma and see if he wants to talk about it or just wants to be left alone or what.
User entered your channel.
Want some extra company there?
Padma?
I was to say
I think
she's-
she just kind of gave me a shuddering, just kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
a lot.
Well, we'll start with Skara investigating. Well, they're fucking dead.
They are dead.
And the metal guy is really big. As for the nature check, actually no, we'll keep going with the investigation rolls first. Celestine, you get to looking, you don't like there's not much like catches your particular interest beyond like some like pouches of gold that don't feel very heavy, so it's just like you like rifle through them, you take like you don't take like all of it, but you take like half of what you find, and it's like about another 30 gold. And you confiscate any and all like rations they have and just start having snacks.
Snacks.
Fenless, roughly the same. Like it's nothing that like super catches your interest, because most of it's all like metal equipment, and well, you're a druid, you don't need that metal shit.
Ew,
Exactly.
metal, gross.
Ew.
However, while Celestine is chomping on some of his newfound snacks with Scar next to Scar, like poking one of the bugs, Celestine manages to help Scar pinpoint what the hell they are, or at least where they come from. They are indigenous to Nova, specifically around in the country of Danakmos. They are known as Prism Striders. Primarily for the fact that, well, They tend to come in a few colors besides the silver you see here, and well, they can shoot laser beams because they are arcanely inclined little bugs. It's very uncommon for them to be on other continents, so these ones were probably deliberately brought by these guys.
Cruel and unusual punishment.
They're also pretty durable, so you know that the shells could be used to, like, make or improve, like, typically shields or little bucklers. And the little gems in their heads are definitely worth a fair chunk of change.
Okay, I'm gonna ask Celestine and Fenless if they can help take these things apart. But, yeah, rush.
If you want to if you want to harvest stuff from them, roll survival checks. Okay. Because the both of you guys are doing this, I'm gonna say that and because Scar rolled well enough, Celestine was rolling with advantage. So yeah, Celestine just like fucking nothing, just pop, fucking pops out all the little gems. You now have 7 Prism Strider gem crystals.
Damn, son.
In fact, Celestine is able to also impressively, thoroughly get off like the big like main piece of their shell as well, because you have to get that open to get the gem out. So Snek then starts loading up Snekbot with pieces of these little metal bugs, because he's like, I have plans.
Thanks for this.
He eventually goes over to Arvin and asks Arvin to carry something of them, because Snekbot can't carry like 7 entire bug abdomens. And Arvin's like, yeah, sure, loads them in the bag of holding. Or his bag of holding.
He's a robot.
Well, yeah, but he doesn't have yeah, but Snekbot doesn't have a bag of holding yet.
Yet.
I imagine Snek will install one eventually. Probably.
Quite likely, considering this group.
Mm-hmm.
The bottomless mouth of holding. Just drop things in his mouth.
Well, that's where his coffee maker is.
Mm-hmm.
You can put it next to the coffee maker. Deposit something and then you get coffee in return.
Coffee converter converts unwanted loot into coffee.
Can I take 10 to check these two guys?
These two down here.
Yeah.
There's no taking 10 in 5e as far as I'm aware.
I can roll for it, but I don't think anyone else has checked them yet, have they?
Just roll a couple of investigation checks.
They average out. Right?
Don't worry, I know what to do. Because to be fair, the DC on the Tiefling Barbarian is a lot lower than the DC on the other guy. Because, well, the Tiefling Barbarian ain't wearing a whole lot.
Right? Because barbarian.
Mm-hmm. Only thing of note on the dead Tiefling, and he's the one you rolled the 6 on, was his his tattered cape, which is just a tattered cape, and his big old honkin' scythe, which doesn't seem to be magical, but it was still a pretty big scythe. It looks too heavy for Fenless to wield, sadly.
Rude.
The guy probably could have used Fenless for a scythe, let's be real.
Oh, absolutely. He was strong. Very strong.
As noted by the fact that I fell unconscious.
Like a bitch. Anywho,
I like that. Like a bitch.
like a bitch. Anywho, on the other guy, Scar, you find 17 gold pieces. His big old Nadachi, which is just big ass, the two-handed katana, like the tombstone weapon for Dark Knights right now in 14. There's also it's also just like a basic radio, and investigating it, you hear the sounds coming from behind you. Its companion is on the big metal guy. And as you realize that, you recall something that happened in the fight. This one dude over here, you saw him at one point do something with a strange gauntlet on his left hand, and then suddenly he became 10 foot tall and made of steel.
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna, I guess, grab the Nadachi, because it might be worth something. I don't know.
It's a finely made big ass sword. You probably sell it for a decent amount. Yeah, you can go hawk it. Hey, Lamau. Roll investigation for that dude. Oh. Well, first thing it's not hard to hard to miss his weird gauntlet, which I have an image of, so I can show you guys what both the dude wearing it and the weapon and the item itself look like. I'm putting it in the D&D Discord. This is the dead dude who, by the way, was cut ass to head in half by Padma.
Yeah.
And that's the gauntlet he has on. And it does indeed have a little dagger stuck through it.
For such a shitty game, it had really neat concepts.
Oh, yeah. But you find the gauntlet, it's associated dagger, a random, unimpressive longsword. It's clearly not like even basic enchanted. Find also you're a little confused when you first pick it up because it looks like a coloring book for like 5-year-olds. And then you open it and you have even more concerns because you see like crudely drawn crayon drawings of both this dude who which insists his name is Leonard, and also other people, and it's this really simplistic, childish interpretation of like the people around him. And like there's also mention of some guy called Orin at one point and how he misses him. But it notes that like, I miss Orin even if he did hit me a lot with an axe. And indeed, you see this dude in like a leather jacket holding an axe, like hitting a crude stick figure of Leonard in the head with it.
How old does this guy seem like he is?
Around 18.
Okay.
And after a little bit more searching, you also find the crayons that it was drawn with, and his name is on it in, again, like childish print. So like, you get the feeling this guy wasn't exactly the sharpest tool in the drawer.
Culling the herd. We did it. We called the herd.
To be fair though, when you guys first saw these dudes, this guy Leonard was annoying the dude you have captured, or at least it seemed like he was.
I'm gonna attempt to remove the gauntlet thing then.
It seems stubborn at first. It's very neatly attached, but after a few seconds it just pops off.
Gotcha.
You do, however, get a sort of sense of dread as you remove it from the guy, however, while you're holding it.
Is it like from skin contact or
just from removing it from that guy and holding it in your hand? There, you feel something dreadful from this item.
Well, I'm gonna definitely throw it in a sack or something.
Well, fortunately for you, this dead guy had a satchel you can use for that end, so you just appropriate it from him
Alrighty.
and put it in the satchel. The feeling of dread goes away when you're not touching it, but like you had this sort of inclination in the back of your mind to not open the bag now.
Okay. I'm just gonna go ahead and write cursed next to that gauntlet on my list.
Put cursed with a question mark. It's at least scary.
Oh no, that's just cursed, man. It's fucking
Yeah,
cursed.
like it in this case, because of what this thing does, or at least what I've determined it does, it definitely has. It definitely feels like your comment is like, this is a bad idea. I love that feature in Shadowrun. If you took the common sense feature for your character, the DM would straight up tell you your common sense tells you that's a bad idea.
Wait. Yeah.
The DM can literally tell you to stop. Is what it did. It was great.
Wait.
Whoa.
Below your roll there, mate.
Jack Black holding a stop sign.
That would be an awesome RP way to do it, just to break the fourth wall. Jack Black appears out of nowhere. You don't have a clue who this guy is, though. He's holding this weird sign that says stop.
Stop.
How about a sign that says don't? You can hit people with it. I love Dragon Age 2. Anyways,
Yeah,
you now have the concerning glove of mystery.
Potentially cursed.
I can perhaps find out.
You can find out a lot of things about it. I'm looking at the laundry list of shit involved with this thing. Oh, you'll learn. You'll all learn.
What does you want the gauntlet?
I don't even know you took it. I'm sitting on the other side of a wall consoling Padma, so I don't have a fucking clue about any of this.
You do, however, Skara, as you like step away from the guy, step away from the dead Leonard guy, you hear from the guy you have captured. Hey, careful with that thing. It does some weird shit if you touch it and you ain't supposed to.
Don't worry. I'm mostly just confiscating it to either get rid of it or seal it if need be.
Yeah, good call. Last time I saw someone touch it, it kind of threw him across the room with like some weird arcane thingy. I didn't want to fuck with it after that.
Huh.
I'll be right back.
Does this kind of seem like it's a what's it called? An Odyssey Forge? Or is it different?
I believe Skara has seen me use Grim Psychometry before, so he
Yeah,
knows
you
that he
saw.
can- Yeah, he knows he can take it to me, and I can figure something out with it.
Yeah, like because you saw him use it on the armor of Stonehearth. In this case, it's an Odyssey Forged. Because you know this, and like it's recent enough, and it's come up a bit. There's two that vaguely fit the bill of a gauntlet type thing. One was the Spectrum Razor, but you've seen that, so you know it's not that one. And that one's also who knows where, because it teleported off of Arvin's arm.
Rather painfully.
The other is the only other one you could think of is the Limit Crusher, which is a set of metal gauntlets. But you know that one of them, because it's the gauntlets are asymmetrical. One of them like covers the entire arm. The other one only goes up to like about the elbow. And while this one looks like it goes up to the elbow, you never heard of anything about the Limit Crusher apparently involving a dagger to turn it on or getting big because of it. So probably not an Odyssey Forged.
Got it.
It's powerful, but not an Odyssey Forged, as far as you know, anyways. I mean, you have seen what it does, and that what it does is huge.
Yeah. Somebody already checked the F guy, right?
Yeah, he's been looted.
Yes.
And the freaky deaky demon dude.
The demon is currently a pile of dust on the ground. The only thing left to him is his gun.
To loot the dust.
Well, you don't have to roll for that because it's just a gun sitting in a pile of dust.
What kind of a gun is it?
It looks the best approximation is if have you played Borderlands 2?
Mm-hmm.
You know the styling of the doll guns in that game? It looks about like one of those.
Huh.
So like kind of very, very tactical rail military grade looking thing.
Does it look of high quality?
Decent quality, yeah.
I'm
Like
gonna-
it's definitely at the very least, it's definitely baseline military grade. So
I'm gonna see if Snake's interested in it.
Sneck looks at the gun, looks at his gun, and just sort of waves you off. Nah. Thanks
Okay.
though.
Guess I'll just add it to the pile of things to sell them.
Mm-hmm.
Just growing rather large.
Yeah, I think that's everything.
Yeah, because like the only other person you can loot is the big metal guy, and the only thing you saw on him besides the other walkie-talkie were two katanas that were about as big as you are tall. So you don't think you can carry those easily.
So there's 2 more Nodachis, right? That's fine.
No, they're bigger than that. They're one-handed weapon sized for a large creature.
They're basically buster swords.
Wait, that means that it's a 2-handed, isn't it?
For a medium, a two-handed would be pushing it. Like it's still really hard to carry these things.
Okay.
You're borderline carrying a siege weapon as compared to your size.
I think I'm carrying a little. Well, I mean, I'm sure I'm within my load, but I'm not gonna mess with them. It's fine.
Yeah, and even then, like there's people nearby who can probably help you carry off the rest of these guys to loot things. Because as you guys finish up the looting, you see trudging towards you, minigun in hand, power armor equipped, and with 5 other guys behind him, and then also the 2 from Dragon War running up. You see Aldos, some of his security, and then Roy and Rhea, and All's like, "Oh, you had all the fun."
Should've got here faster, mate.
He just like looks at his power armor and sighs, and then just holsters the minigun on his backpack.
Well, we could put that to some use. If you
Why?
have people that can revive people, because from what the captured guy told us, we have a guy captured, by the way, he's still alive.
The captured guy that kind of weakly waves his hand from the rock where like Celestine has his boot on his shoulder.
There are 3 people that know more than he claims to know. So if you have people who can either bring them back to life or get information from them by some other means because they are currently dead, you could always carry them back. Or we could just leave them here to rot.
Leave him here to rot. I don't feel like prodding the dead. That's Caius' shit, and I mean, if they fought and they lost, well, they get to deal with the consequences of being dead. And if you got one guy, I mean, hey, that's good enough for me.
Me. Time is it? It's like the middle of the day at this point, isn't it?
It's still early on in the day, actually. It's like, by now, it's closing in and around like 9:30, 10-ish?
Damn.
Maybe 10:30?
Nothing like a good fight to wake up in the morning.
Yeah, no, like, you guys woke up, had breakfast, and then this shit happened. This has been your day.
But yeah,
Huh. What the? And you see, like, all this info. The fuck? They had Prism Striders with them?
Yeah. Don't
What
know
in
exactly
the-
where they got them myself.
Well, aside from the obvious of the habitat,
Right.
you hear Arvin pipe up. One of them left And I was like, just a single one ain't gonna be a big deal. Then like he looks back. So with the flaming wreck. Here, Roy like sort of like he like does that one thing hand over his head like I don't know, but it sucks to be whoever was driving that thing.
I teleported out.
Yeah. Of course they do. It's always those freaking overdramatic ponces who enjoy their pyrotechnics.
Who said that?
Roy.
Bye.
Looks at Jana.
And that's where she chimes in. It seems to have been your our mutual ill acquaintance. And Roy just sort of freezes. Motherfucker, he was here? You see where he just like turn and start strangling the air and walking away. And his sister like sort of like goes after and makes sure he doesn't do something really stupid. She also looks unhappy, but she's a bit concerned about her brother.
Wait, was Jana just referring to Arias?
Jana was referring to Care, the guy who was in the
Care,
bus
right,
and teleported away. He was the one who was driving that bus, it seems, maybe.
Pasha Bray.
Mm-hmm. I was like, looks back and says, all right, you boys. Round them up, strip them for shit, and then burn the rest.
Oh,
And a few of the guards, security guys nod and holster their weapons and set about, like, investigating what remains of these dead guys.
Which isn't much, because we're professionals.
Mm-hmm. And then he sort of, like, waves at you all, like, let's come talk this out. And he, like, notes Padma's situation. Hey, little miss, you okay?
For a certain degree of okay.
Yeah, let's get back to the dig site and maybe sort this out, because I think you guys just might have earned yourself some overtime if they were trying to fuck up my dig.
It seems like they were here to pick up some other people. Namely the ones we ran into in the dig.
Oh, fun. Yeah. You guys are getting overtime. Let's go. He just starts waving for you guys to follow him.
I helped Padma up.
Thank you.
Celestine escort this guy back.
Okay. Yeah, you and the large boof escort the three-fingered man.
The large.
Well, 2 fingers and a thumb, but anyways. Yeah, you guys, since we're done on this map now, let me just hit the button.
Buttons.
Page toolbar. Take me to the thingy. Move the players to here. Back to the world map.
Where we are at the bus, correct? Yes.
Yes, bus's current party location.
Party bus. Yeah.
yeah, as it looks like.
1 second. No. Oh.
That's the upgrade.
Okay. So after you guys head back to camp, you see Aldosk give a few orders and a few more guys head over to where the fight broke out. Including one dude in like, it looks like one of those like exoskeleton suits, but it's clearly meant for like just lifting, like heavy lifting as opposed to like, you know, combat.
He's in a power loader.
Kinda, yeah.
Where are the xenomorphs?
No.
Anyway.
Think a bit more Exo Jock 9000 from Dexter's lab.
Okay.
I remember the Exo Jock.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's some guys going to deal with their new problem, new dead things to deal with and shit, and also the fucking destroyed bus.
I can't believe that. Never.
But getting back, I assume you guys all catch up your two employers on and the Dragonor guys on what the hell just happened.
Yep.
All right. So the fucking what the fuck's the Desmond family want with my goddamn dig site? I mean, well, I know what they wanted with the fucking dig site, but why do they want a fucking? He gestures towards Celestine, the fancy ass, rock armor. Like, I mean, sure, it's a cool item and artifact and all that jazz and blah fucking blah, but like, it's a fucking holy temple of Fenris. The fuck kind of security they think we got? They only send a few little bitches that y'all fucking stomped on. Jonas just sort of shrugged.
Expecting a little more discretion, probably.
Well, they're fucking bitches. It's like, I wouldn't say that, but well, poor decisions have been made before. Aldous looks very disgruntled, like he looks offended by this whole situation. He's like crossing his arms and huffing, like, oh.
And I will be back. Dinner time.
Okay. Yuki Tuki. At this point, Jonas looks at you all, and then since you guys are actually having this discussion in like next to an interrogation, to what's become a makeshift interrogation room, you look through a window and there's the dude you captured sitting in like, a little makeshift cell, staring at his newfound stumps, and like clearly having a lot of regretty spaghetti right now. And then just like, you said down there you found Steel Battalion mercs, yes? Hello?
Hello? Yes.
Oh.
I don't remember finding that.
You encountered them. They were enemies you fought in there.
Oh.
I think Lito was absent those sessions.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. I have an idea. And you watch him walk off because I just realized you also had two prisoners from the Steel Battalion mercs. They're in the cell next to the dude you just made friends with. And you watch Jonas walk in the room, and then he starts talking to all three of the people there. You're part of the muffled conversation. The walls are a little bit thick and clearly meant for, storing things as opposed to proper interrogations or anything. He's in there for about 20 minutes before he comes back out. Well, it seems you're a new acquaintance from the cleanup crew. Name's by the name of Richard, by the way. Seems he knew that Steel Battalion was on tap, but he wasn't quite aware how many of them would be there because, well, again, everything else was above his pay grade for what was effectively just a grunt. And your two friends from inside, they knew they had someone coming to extract them after they accomplished their objective, but they were never told who it was. So it seems that whoever hired your Steel Battalion friends is at least partially in bed with the Deslins. Or at least cooperating with them enough to plan this whatever the hell.
Alright, I'm back now.
Oh,
Back.
Kel, to TLDR for Kel just now, one of the NPCs interrogated all 3 of the prisoners you have. And,
Okay.
And, the dudes you caught in the ruins who identified, Onyx as being potentially tied to the guy who hired them, confirmed that the dudes on the bus were there to pick them up.
So Onyx hired more mercenaries?
Well, it's more that there was, from the sound of it, like, there's 2 factions that are working together. One of them hired the get them out team, one hired the do the dirty work team. Your brother seems to have been the dirty work team.
Figures.
You missed my bad pun last week, or a couple weeks ago, Kel. I said you don't want Onyx to evolve into Steelix.
That was her dad's pun?
No, that was me.
Oh.
I was very tired that day.
Yeah. Yeah, that was last week when I was recapping things. But it would seem that, well, compared to the 2 from the ruins, your new friend from the bus was not, shall we say, arcanely brainwashed into not being able to say things. Which admittedly fits more the Deslin's motive. They prefer to work through fear and intent to kill, as opposed to outright arcane manipulation, if they can help it. Oh no, heal your Pokemon.
Yeah.
Okay. But assuming there's no more interruptions, and well, once the dead ones in the wreckage are dealt with and salvaged respectively, I would say for now your particular work here is done. You were hired for the Vanguard, and the Vanguard you have been. And you've done a rather admirable job. All the source goes, more than admirable, they kicked ass.
Well, thank you for the kind words. Let's see, there's something to rest.
I'm a man who likes results, and you brought good results, so you're all right in my book.
Oh, I'm sure people were taking their.
At that point, the there's a knock at the door, and the little raccoon guy pokes his head in and is like, "Hey, the ship's working again. If they want to get the hell out of here," and then
Cut out.
the little raccoon guy showed up, said your ship was ready, and then he left.
Alright.
Roy's sort of rubbing his temple. Well, if you want to get out of here, we can certainly go, and then we can come back. In case Alda still wants at least a few competent ones to help sort things out. You see the Dragon Warrior do that beard stroking motion, but he has a lizard chin, so it looks a little odder. Yeah, drop your drop your short-term contract guys off and then come back here. Seems like a good plan. I mean, people got business to attend to. Don't want to be hung up in one place for too long.
Yes, I would very much like to get moving.
Mm-hmm. All right, then. See you around. And we're just sort of, yeah. Let's get going, people. And you guys are get a bit more food for the road, and then just hop back in the airship and start making your way back to Dragon Roar HQ.
We need to go to the man and get my shield fixed.
He's on another continent.
Don't
Yeah.
worry. I know what to do about this. Don't worry.
Shield got jacked up.
I forgot. I made a mistake about something that Cal wanted, and I'm gonna rectify that mistake next chance I get. You guys are now heading for Dragon Roar, and I'm going to use this man. Boop. This token. Show nameplate. To mark where you've been.
Yay!
Mm-hmm. So one fairly quiet, all things considered, airship ride back, with your new drow wizard friend in tow. You around 1:45, 2 o'clock, you make it back to Dragon Roar's HQ in Draklin. And you see Sneck wheel his sneaky scoot off the back of the airship. Roy and Rhea sort of head off. Celestine gets a pat on the head from Rhea.
Yeah, pets.
Little pat in an ear scratch. Ugh. And then you are approached a moment later by Victoria, who, upon seeing all of you, looks at her little tablet clipboard thing, swipes a few buttons, and then motions for you to follow her. You follow?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. And then to keep things a little bit on the shorter side for part of it, you catch her up on your side of things because you saw a bit more than the two redheads did. Catch her up on everything that went down, all the way up to when you alert her to who the fuck hired those guys in the bus. Upon hearing the name Desland, you see, she's very, prim, proper poised. She goes absolutely rigid at that name.
Is there any indication as to why?
None given, because she's like that for about 2 seconds before she just goes back like nothing happened. But it was very obvious that there was something that name triggered her pretty hard. And then after that, we'll certainly have the twins go back there then, if a known organized crime syndicate has any remote interest in those ruins. Regardless if the interest has now since started walking away, she looks in the direction of Celestine.
Hey?
She just noted you because you're wearing the armor the guys at the ruins were after.
Mama made it.
He means for an eye.
I know who.
That was in character.
No, I know. So it would seem. Do take care of it. But you've done well. You've done beyond the client's expectations, in fact. So you will receive your cut of the payment. And, oh baby, you guys hit a fucking payday. You all gain another 3,500 gold.
Damn.
Yep. Let me just mark up the gold people have.
I already got mine.
Well, I'm marking up the sheets I have to mess with right now. Hey man, mercs pay well.
Yep.
Okay. And then, well, you're free to go about your own business. If we have need of your assistance, we'll be in touch. Though, hopefully with less, erratic communications than the previous few. But, a question. You said you found a strange paladin within the ruins who claimed that an associate of his was the reason for his appearance there.
Yes.
Just find it interesting.
Sorry, I misclicked.
No.
I didn't say what it was, and I was like, maybe it's a marker or something.
Oh, sorry. Okay, but I was like, do you know roughly about when that would have happened? Sneck then, without missing, it immediately gives the exact time and date. I don't know what it would be, but he gives it exactly because Keen Mind is a fucking crazy feat, and she just sort of pauses. Thank you. Quickly shifts through something on her little PDA, her little tablet PC, and Very well, I'll make note of that then. See if I can't find this Vincent. Whomever wherever in the world he is. As well. Stray paladins don't just turn up in ruins to a god they don't believe in. Or at least don't put the majority of their faith in. But it's definitely food for thought. Thank you. Go about your day. At that point, she stops paying attention to you guys at all and is just doing something on her tablet. Like, completely, you guys are irrelevant to what she's doing. She doesn't even know you're there anymore.
That's Victoria for ya.
Is there anyone here that's like really good at like identifying stuff? I don't know, merchant. I don't know. Not a merchant, like to buy to sell, but more like an identifier, or artificer or something like that.
Oh, identification. You have people who can ritual cast identify, so if you guys want to take a little bit before you head out to identify the shit you found, you can.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know about this gauntlet thing. I just wanted to identify it.
Yeah, no, that's easy enough. You have two people who can cast identify.
Oh, okay.
Jana can cast it, and so can Padma because she has the ritual book.
Gotcha.
If Padma's in the right frame of mind.
Well, don't worry. There's people who can identify it among the party. So, whoever the fuck casts the identify spell, you get somewhere else to, not be disturbing the mercs. Probably back to your bus.
Okay.
With, your new friend in tow. and identify the gauntlet. It is for certain cursed.
Awesome.
It seems to be the like John, as she's identifying this thing, she's like making a very confused face. It's like, what the fuck does this what? And then what it does is well, the main effect is while wearing it, you can, as a bonus action, you can take the dagger, put it in the gauntlet, and use the command word Verto to become what she like hesitantly calls the Knight Oiselle, who is a well, actually, I had him smaller than he actually is supposed to be, but it's like about a 15-foot tall walking metal monstrosity who has a sword and board equip style. So, big shield, sword in one other hand. Very sturdy, can hit rather a lot and can hit really hard because you're now huge. But the probability of terrible things happening to you shoots up by a lot. The people around you also have bad luck, and you yourself become almost a complete blithering idiot.
Is the Nadachi of anything of note, or is it just a fancy?
No, the only thing that was like actually magical besides the pendant that Zakio found was the gauntlet.
All right, so I'm gonna take the gauntlet to a branch of my order so that we can either destroy it or seal it. And then I'm going to try to sell the rifle in the Nadachi at some sort of weapons store.
Okay. You know where the Ort Defenders is, so you don't roll for that. But to find like any other store here, roll me a perception check actually, I don't know what this would be. It would be a perception check to find it. Oh, well, we'll start with with disposing of the cursed gauntlet of knightly stupidity. I like to call it the gauntlet of witless knucklehead conniption. Upon turning it over to the order there, you have John explain what it does, and the guys there definitely agree. Very good idea to get rid of this thing. So they're gonna put it in observation to see if they can find a way to destroy it.
Okay.
Because again, having someone who becomes a complete moron becoming a giant walking tank, that's very bad.
Yes, it is. Gotta make sure that it's destroyed if possible.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, a guy shows up with like a lead-lined box to take it from you, and he has you put it in the box, like satchel and all, just in the box to carry it off. Like they don't want nobody touching it no more.
Putting it just the bag in there.
Yep, it's shuttled off. You hear one of the researchers who will be trying to get rid of it, very gleeful about the prospect of destroying a cursed magical item.
Good.
Like someone's like tries to get info. He's like, it's for the greater good, of course, but still, I love to get to try to destroy these things. But then, as you leave and start heading for we're coming like the shopping section of the city, you notice this partly because it stands out, because how the fuck you spot another Crimson Hammer Forge. Exact same sign, everything. And you're just like, what? Because you thought it was just like a single store over there. You're like, it's a franchise? Huh. What was that?
I said, yeah, maybe they're expanding.
So with with all your intended to be dealt with loot and everyone coming in, upon entering the store, it is to the brick the exact same store in Gilvain.
God damn it, Yukari!
Even better, the door you came through is slightly to the left of where you remember walking in from Gilvain.
God damn it, Yukari!
Upon entering, you after a moment you hear friggin' you just hear a shout of "God damn it, Patrick!" from the back room, and then the door opens and Hawk's like, hello, valued customers. How may Hawk serve?" It's the exact same guy.
Awesome.
God damn it, Yukari! That's all I'm going to say about this whole mess. God damn it, Yukari!
I saw it came from New Branch out in Draklin.
Yeah. It's pretty potent portal magic or something you got going on here, I guess, huh?
Translocation spells. I have my siblings are quite versed in things, and well, setting up shop in multiple places at once, well, it saves on travel time.
Very beneficial.
Indeed, especially when you do work as well as I do.
That's true.
But yes, you have interests with my store, I assume?
Yeah, I've picked up 2 items recently. I'm not sure how valuable they are, but I was looking to see if you'd be interested in purchasing them.
Oh, of course. Show me.
Alright, I'll start with the rifle first.
Military grade. He's like looking it over. Not usually my thing, but I have my my younger brother. He's a bit of an enthusiast for all things firearms, so he might. I would buy it off you and then probably just pawn it off on him.
Okay.
His birthday is coming up soon anyway, so it makes a good gift. Yes, he sets it down on one spot. We'll definitely pay you for that one. What was the other one?
Then I'll bring out the Nodachi.
Ooh. Oh. He like pauses, picks it up, and starts looking at it very hurt. This looks like it was my make, but I do not recall making this blade.
That's weird.
He's like now very, very slowly, like his eyes are like about 2 inches away from the sword as he's like scanning it slowly. Like he is so suspicious right now.
Is it a counterfeit or something?
By the time he finishes scanning one side, I've seen no less than 32 flaws in this blade. It is a poor imitation of my work.
Oh, that's not cool.
No, it is not. And then you see him pull open the like smelting thing and then just jam the entire fucking Nodachi in there. Into there you go! Slams it closed. I'll make a true masterpiece worthy of my name. Oh, he sounds so offended. Rank amateurs trying to pass off their work as that of a master.
I gotta put my earbuds in.
Oh, just in time, Jinx.
Oh shit! What did I miss?
Hawk's back.
Hawk's back. He has there's a portal to his store in Draklin.
Oh my god! Yes. Why is there a portal in Dragon Roar to his
Not in
store?
Dragon War, in Draklin.
Oh, in
He
Draklin.
he has transferred it to his siblings. Some of them are good with like magic and stuff, so one of them helped him set up multiple storefronts in various towns and portal them all to the same building.
Oh, yes.
So it's a bit like Scanlan's Magnificent Mansion thing, except there's multiple doors.
And I'm just screaming at a Toho character because, god damn it.
Yep.
If that actually is a sibling, I'm going to hurt you.
Oh, no. No. I was not intending for Toho jokes with him. You just can't escape this item shop.
I mean, it's a good item shop.
Mm-hmm. Ow! Fuck! Shit! There's something in my eye. God damn it! 1 second.
Kel, we're at Hawks if you wanted to get your shield.
Yep.
Did I miss
Twin
anything in
One moment, there's
particular?
There's something big in my eye right now. 1 second.
Just that Victoria tensed when the name Deathland got brought up.
Oh,
There's
she
only for a
tensed
couple-
up as well.
Yes.
Here I was trying to be gentle and get Padma to tell you her life story, but no. She was too angry.
Well, I mean, the day's not over yet.
Yeah, the day's not over. It's only about like 2.
This is true.
Well, by now it's about 3. Also, you missed it. The glove that let the dude become big, McLarge, huge knight guy. It was cursed.
You become a
You can turn into a giant, like 15-foot tall walking tank made of like plate mail, holding a giant sword. But you also become a blithering idiot and like induce a field of lowered competence in everyone around you.
Because that game was ass.
Yeah.
That explains his idiocy.
Among other things. Yeah.
So
But yeah, so it was
back,
pawned off. It was
ordered
taken
in.
to yeah, you guys went to Dragon where you got paid. You made 3,500 gold. The whole party got that.
And according
everyone.
to Padma, Victoria tensed up at the mention of the...
You saw this happen because you were in the same room.
Right.
Like she for 2 seconds went complete ramrod stiff and then just carried on like nothing happened. But anyways, yes, you guys are selling stuff to Hawk. And it's after he like finishes being offended by this guy who tried to make a shitty imitation of his own work in an Adachi. Sees Celestine's like, you! Come here, friend. I have an apology to make.
I go over to him and hand him his.
My bumbling apprentice gave me the wrong book. It was rather poorly written and gave wrong rituals to properly enchant shields. But to keep my things very good quality. And well, he ruined business a little bit, so I give you a discount on enhancement. How much improve would you like? Mild, moderate, intense?
Intense.
Intense.
Always intense.
I like intense.
Intense in what way?
Defense.
It's defense.
You see him crack his knuckles and roll his neck a little bit. Yes, well, give me a moment. He reaches under his counter, puts on his magical transmutation gloves, pulls down the goggles. You may want to look away for this. It will get pretty bright.
Stares intensely at it.
Yeah.
No.
Pulls out some materials, a couple of arcane orbs, and then you see him like in the air basically draw the ley line sigil, and then
Legit.
oh god, the light, it blinds us. If you were looking at it, you're blinded for 2 rounds. So for
Nope.
12 seconds, you can't see shit because you stared at it.
Dumbasses.
I didn't stare at nothing. I was saying that out of character.
Oh. But yes, after that, Celestine, you are now the proud owner of a +1 shield of fire resistance.
Ooh.
So Frisbee has a +1 to its AC and also makes you take half damage from fire.
It's pretty good considering I've got a flare happy mage with us now.
It also means that fucking
Just think
God,
if
so-
Skara had that. He could like reduce it down to like an eighth of the damage. Or a
well, that's what he
16th.
would do. Well, he should have actually been able to do that because if he had succeeded on the save against the fire spell, it would go down to like nothing. But resistance from two sources don't stack, and if they do, it goes up from resistance to immunity.
Oh, yeah, true.
So yeah, Frisbee is now +1 and has fire resist while you wear it.
If you break through immunity, does it change to absorb? Is it that way? Or...
It goes like from best to worst. It goes absorb, immunity, resistance, nothing.
Got it. Well, there's double damage, isn't there, too?
Yeah, there's vulnerability, but like I'm talking about on the resistance only side. On the positive side. On the negative side, yeah, you can be vulnerable to it, but there's no like double vulnerability.
Vulnerable,
This is a
super vulnerable. Oh god, this
That's
will fucking kill me if I look at it funny.
Look at it.
This is a Pokemon.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no double weakness to fighting type moves here. Like poor Aggron. Or Scizor with fire.
Jeez.
Scissor.
Evolved form of
Steel.
Sect.
Yeah. There's no quad fire weaknesses here, sorry. But yes, you now have your better shield.
I'm just
And
browsing
then-
around looking at nothing in particular.
Okay.
'Cause I'm assuming I... Actually,
Hmm.
I will investigate, just kind of nonchalantly, if anything catches my eye.
Not particularly. Like you spend a little bit more time looking at like some of the. You don't notice that at this point the store is actually a lot bigger because you missed a section in the back that seems to be more for like just wondrous items, as opposed to like magic weapons and armor. So Hawk's multi-talented.
Also, if you guys thought 4-time weaknesses was bad, Paris and Parasect can get dry skin.
Oh yeah, 8 times weakness.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah.
Poor
Rude.
bastard.
Yeah. The idea of fire kills them. But there's some stuff like it looks interesting. Like it's like it doesn't like catch your interest enough that you want to get it, but it's like it's definitely there.
Just something to think about.
Mm-hmm. Oh, is Lodo also looking? Is Scar also looking around for stuff?
Yeah. Good things.
In your case, there's not. It's about the same. Like, there's a few more things that make you stop, but like consider. But then you're like, you think about how you do things. You're like, nah.
Yeah. I will be back in just a moment.
Okay. Because like most of the stuff to be like a vast improvement for you are like firearms, but well, you're like, I'm not exactly the best shot, so maybe not.
Yeah. I wish it was, but my dex is kind of garbage.
Yeah. Sadly. Let's see.
Oh. Would you be interested in these prism strider crystals? I forgot I had those.
Oh, you gonna show them to him?
Yeah.
You set them down. He's like, picks them up. Oh. From Prism Strider, you say? Ho ho ho.
Bless you.
Excuse me.
These will be quite good for focuses. For he's like got like he's pulled down something from his helmet. Looks like a jeweler's like lens. A bit as he's inspecting one of them. Oh, not even blemish. Oh, these are worth a pretty penny, my friend.
Oh.
So, you see him like ringing up on a calculator. Whew. My friend, you have a rather large buffer here. I'm afraid I can't take it too much higher or I'll start going out of business.
Okay. Well, I mean, we could also use it for trade. I don't really know what. Maybe like
You're back
armor.
Hey.
Alright.
Well, like, you guys already had a tab with him, and Celestine getting his his shield upgraded didn't really put a dent in it, and now you're just going to start making that tab bigger. And that's all these gems will do for you from this guy. Because there's 7 of them, they are perfect condition because Celestine fucking aced that roll to get them out.
like a boss.
I guess we just add it to the pool for now. Then I'm sure we'll upgrade down the road.
All right then. Actually, he like looks at Arvin like, "You come here a moment." Arvin, okay, walks over, and like then he like rather abruptly grabs Arvin by the arm to look at the arcane bracer he's got on over his bandages, and he's just like very intently inspecting it. Large, cumbersome, poorly made. Oh, the crystal. Were you in a rush with you about this, my friend? And he's like, a little bit, yes. I have just the thing. And then he just abruptly just whoop, yanks it off Arvin's arm, throws it over his shoulder into another one of those smelter thingies. And he's like, Arvin's just very confused. As Hawk just like grabs one of the little the Strider gems, grabs a bunch of other stuff, and then you see him go into the back room, and again you hear like the weird cartoonish sound effects of like buzzsaws, jackhammers, and all that jazz.
Seems legit.
And also at least one shot of at least of Patrick, hand me the tongs. No, the bigger tongs.
Oh god damn it, the bigger tongues!
No, not to the left. That one. Yes, thank you. Your power drill, laser cutter. What you swear is an elephant, but you're not sure how it got back there. And then after about 10 minutes of this weird cartoonish sounds you hear from the fucking back room of this store, the door is summarily poof, kind of kicked open, and you see Hawk walk out with this watch-sized little bracelet-looking thing. This, my friend, will serve you much better. And he hands it to Arvin. Oh, thank you.
And it looks better too.
Significantly. He then also notices Arvin, did quite something else. Arvin's like, oh, yes, I meant to. He takes out the sword he got from Hawk before. I was trying something different when I was using this, but it not quite to my taste. And he like and then Hawk just like looks at the dagger on Arvin's belt. Much more of the swift, much more, but prefer the swiftness to the reach a little bit. And Arvin like nods. I completely understand. He takes back the sword. We'll call it even in this then. It's only lightly used after all. He just sets the saber aside so Arvin doesn't have that weapon anymore.
You didn't like it? God damn it.
Things and stuff changed. Don't worry about it. Shut up.
Whenever,
No,
whenever you
it's
say don't worry
fine.
about
It's
it,
just like, oh.
What,
whenever-
Tori?
whenever you say don't worry about it, I just get the Jesse face in my head.
God.
Don't worry about it.
Hit them.
What do you mean hit them? Hit them.
Corey, please.
Anywho. But, yes. He shuffles the rest of the gems off to one side. He carefully sets aside the military grade gun he got off of Skara. Yes, did you have other things you may or may not have wished to purchase in my store? If anyone else wants to look for something, roll investigation. And I know someone who will, so let's just ahead of time. This. Oh, wow.
Wait, this is going? We're never gonna have to pay for anything with Hawk ever.
You might at some point, but it's like, eh.
It's gonna be severely discounted. You'll have given everything you've given me up to this point, you have to pay 1 gold. And it's something outrageously expensive.
Yeah, I know you guys just all buy like fucking and like you guys buy full relic armor sets, and that will come to 3 gold total. You finally got in the black. You finally got in the red. You guys walk up to the final boss with 30 AC. Everyone with 30 AC.
Bitch, please.
I wouldn't let that happen, but yeah.
That would ruin all your fun.
Fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone is wearing the deal with it shades.
I love that icon.
Fact. Yeah, but John was just looking around, sees a few things of interest, but I'll be honest, I actually don't know what all Ren would look for with her. Shit.
Did I ever discern what that spellbook was that I found on Mr. Belsatane?
It was just a wizard's spellbook.
Oh.
Like, it's literally like his list of spells he knows.
Oh, okay.
The only one who could really make use of that would probably just be Jana.
And she has her own spellbook that says the same damn thing.
Well, no, this dude might know other spells that she doesn't. And she could copy them from that notebook to hers.
I think you can have multiple spellbooks too, can't you? Or is that not?
Not as far as I'm aware, no.
I would still go to Jana just
So I'm gonna
for
turn to Zakio and be like, hey, maybe there's some sort of like cloak or item that would make you more difficult that you could commission here. Like a blur kind of effect. Rather than an AC type of effect. Like, I think it's like Elvenkind cloaks maybe or something like that.
I'm thinking there's nothing I know that's like that, I don't think.
There's like
Because the cloak of Elvenkind gives you advantage on all stealth rolls, period. But it's an attunement item.
I think he's thinking like a displacer cloak.
Yeah, maybe.
Probably.
Here.
Yeah, it's probably that.
I didn't.
But so I rolled investigation. I don't actually know what Rin would all be looking for, so it's like, well, that roll just went to waste. Oops. Moppy. Then it looks like your business with Hawk is actually concluded, unless you wanted to. No. I think everyone's got what they wanted to get.
You can always ask Rin later, and we can possibly retcon it, depending on what he's looking for.
Yeah, but to be fair, I also don't want to give you guys too much shit, because, like, you guys already have a lot of stuff.
We have half the fucking Odyssey forged.
Yeah.
No big deal.
Yeah. Half of them, 4 are MIA. One is decidedly got some bad mojo about it. And yeah. So with that, let's just say you guys went back to your bus, and now the rest of the day is effectively yours because, well, you have several directions you could go in, and that all depends on what you want to do.
I know what I want to do.
Studying this charisma scroll.
Yeah, you guys can still spend time doing that.
Oh yeah, we're studying scrolls, but ultimately, what is our next objective?
Yeah.
We can go my route and go all the way to Denakmos and figure out what the fuck is Alias's deal.
Mm-hmm.
We can go to the Yggdrasil Reef for Celestine.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit, I forgot the third one.
The third one you were just talking about having half of them.
That's right. We can just go pick a direction, run, and go hunting Odyssey Forged.
We should go to the South Pole.
Your common sense tells you that's a bad idea.
Set foot on the land and immediately die.
Set foot on the land, a frost giant kicks you off. Bitch, get out my house!
Get off my lawn!
You take 20 d10 ice damage every round. No.
Celestine sticks his head out the window, comes and pulls his head back in. His head's a snowman. And then you just see his, like, from inside, his mouth just from inside. It's cold!
Do you open the door to the bus? Yes. Everyone make a con save.
Jeez.
Save at disadvantage.
I'm resistant to cold.
Yeah, the only two who wouldn't have to would be Fenless, Arvin, and Padma. Because they have cold resistance. They just have to make it just a regular con save.
Oh, I have cold resistance because boots.
Oh, yeah, you too.
The boots.
You'd still have to make a con save, but you wouldn't have to make it a disadvantage.
Right.
It's that cold.
Fuck this shit, I'm out.
Yeah.
So what do we want to do?
Well, don't really have any other leads about the rather frustrating group of multiple assholes who are in some way tied to everything we've dealt with thus far. That was Arvin, by the way.
I figured.
Let's do side quests.
You have any side quests popped up on the map? I personally vote to go to Denakmos because I want to figure out Alias. More so now because he's being a spiteful little bitch.
You just see in your field of vision appear, fuck you.
Yeah, fuck you
All
too,
caps,
buddy.
by the way. All caps, bold, italics. You just fuck you, and then it disappears.
Hey,
I
fuck
don't
you
care.
too, buddy.
That might be pulling at a thread we might want to wait on.
What, figuring out Alias? Given how I had 10 for this to go, not really. It won't, like, try to kill you. It'd be funny.
Well, I mean, I don't really
slowly,
have
but he ain't gonna kill you.
I'll do whatever you guys want to. I'm fine with whatever.
That's just my personal vote.
Yes, because Arwen looks at Celestine. You wanted to go back to the reef, yes?
Mama.
That, I can just imagine how adorable he looked saying that.
Hold on. I have an image for it. I shared it in the D&D chat earlier. Also, hi.
It's Snack!
Hey, it's Sneck.
Snack.
Egg.
Snack!
And I am actually doing two things. I am reading my strength scroll. Yeah, strength. And I am studying that compass as well. I can figure out how the fuck that thing works.
Oh yeah, that one's easy to figure out comparatively. I found the image. This is what Celestine looks like in my head when he says "Mama" about the reef.
Yep. That's accurate. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Is that accurate, Cal?
As you say that, Celestine, you feel a pat on the head and like, don't worry, I'll be okay. You can take your time. Cal?
What's up?
Vernai pat you on the head, said, there's no rush, you can take your time.
Oh,
Also-
okay.
Also, that's the face. Also, Twin linked an image. It's like it's your face.
That's Celestine's face when he says, Mama, about the reef.
I want to mush its face.
It's a big woof.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to say I'm inclined to agree with Zakia. I would also like to figure out what's up with this alias figure. And he sort of like recoils. He's not happy about that, is he?
No.
And you see like like roughly about in front of his face where you saw the fuck you, he's like waving away something.
Did he show you something specific?
It was it was like one of those texts. It was like a little like emotes on like your phone, but it was a middle finger.
Oh, that must have been what he was waving away.
that's what I was trying to get rid of. It's still there, and then he just swings his arm really hard, and now it's gone.
Yeah, the next Fargo.
All because I picked up a fucking glass ball.
If only you knew. If only you knew. He says, looking at the Lord of the Rings text document he has about that thing. I kid. It's only half that length.
I kid, it's only half as long.
And I'm talking like that omnibus, all Lord of the Rings books in one book version.
Oh, the door stopper.
Yeah.
I need to go to the reef.
You do?
Yes, I can't think of anywhere else they would have gone, but if those things are poking around, I need to let the others know.
What others?
My old group.
Oh, your troop?
Yeah. It's the only place I can think of where they would hide. Not even the Deslins were stupid enough to try going through the Yggdrasil reef like that. They would rip them apart.
Which, listen, you hear that, you think about it. Yeah, most people don't go near the reef if they got ill intent, because the reef tends to be very protective of people. She's not called the One Mother for nothing.
But yeah.
I think he's more absorbed in Pokemon.
Probably.
He shows up.
But I mean, if they've managed to track me down, even if it was incidentally, they can't get Iris.
Who's Iris?
Well, if you've stuck with me this far, I suppose it's only fair you find out why I have many issues with the Deslins. Padma just kind of sits in a chair, grabs onto a phone, and shows a picture of her own troop, so... I mean...
Yeah?
It's like it's just Padma sitting down and showing her...
Okay. Let's see, where do I have the thingy?
I did it very specifically.
Shit, I don't have the link to the thing you sent me.
Good thing I have it open.
Thank you, I need that, please.
Freeze.
Where's the twin? There's the twin. Boop.
Okay.
That's why
So
I did
the image she shows you on the phone when she turns it sideways is you see obviously Padma herself in roughly the middle, and like sort of looming over her are three wildborn. One appears to be a hyena, one appears to be a lioness, the other appears to be a cheetah. And then also a small... She looks human at first, but then like you kind of look a little closer, you can definitely see like some seams. She's clearly Azal.
This was
And-
the group. Go ahead.
It's they're all like they don't wear like the same colors, but they all like have a theme that's like you still see like pick a theme that unifies them as like a solid, you know, a uniform theme between all of them. Except for the cheetah, he's dressed a bit more sharply, he looked more like the manager than like a performer.
This was the group I was started being, well, a performer with. I somehow, let's say I met Tabitha's the hyena. I met Tabitha back in grade school. Good friends. We like dancing and singing together, so we decided, you know what, let's do the crazy teenager thing and start up a band. And well, we did. Corey, old nickname, his full name is kind of hard to pronounce, so Corey's just been a long-running nickname. Came on board to sort of do the paperwork and the technical stuff because he's a sweet man, very nice, but he's got stage fright like nobody's business. And well, Lupita joined us when she's joined us on the road, and we wound up in Marnat, which is where we picked up Iris, who very new, clearly not. You don't want to be the sweet, naive child in Marnat. That's Iris. That was Iris. She's hopefully still is sweet, kind, all those wonderful things you would expect on a Sugar Bowl Christmas special. But we were performing one day at a nice location. Very nice, big casino, you know, typical Marnat scenery. There was a break in our set for a different crew to come on, and Iris was backstage where perhaps the most sleazy looking weasel of a person I've ever seen was there trying to proposition. Because he's an idiot and doesn't know how Zal work. And I reacted and almost removed him from the gene pool. I only found out when a great deal of security people came out that I had, well, attempted to castrate a member of the Deslands.
So that's that's why the story I heard, this is Arvin, involves something about I keep thinking he saw it in a movie, but there was something about one of those little push trolleys that like room service goes on, and at least 3 coconuts getting lodged in someone's nose.
Yes, that was me trying to create a distraction for Iris to get away, since she was the quote-unquote prize, as much as it makes my mouth burn having to refer to her like that. I told her to get the others and for them to get into hiding. And well, I ran a different direction. It's why I had to get that phone and number changed all of a sudden.
I was wondering about that.
I figured that I had lost them and they had given up the chase. But it seems otherwise. If they found me, I'm worried they'll find the others.
Well, I got the impression you were a happy accident. As opposed to...
Not actively hunting, though.
I mean...
Well, now that whatever his face was got away, I'm paranoid.
Oh, care?
Yes.
Yeah.
Although, after he says, see Arvin's like, his face is like starting to dawn with horror. Oh no.
Yeah.
Arvin?
Oh no.
Oh no, what?
They're the Desmond's. They're organized crime mafia types, right?
Yes. Mardat is basically their playground.
I know the reputation of Marnet. I've heard enough stories to stay away from there. From Mom, Dad, and Mother. Oh no.
Where's Mardat again?
Marnat on the map is it's supposed to be a small island off the coast of Cuerno.
Okay.
It's not like actively on the map, but it's like roughly around. It's like roughly by about where the Q is.
Okay.
It's effectively space Hong Kong mixed with Las Vegas.
Lovely.
Oh, so they're less the mob and more the space triad?
Kind of, yeah. It's effectively the same thing. Big organized crime.
Right.
Putnam's
I was
on
just
their back.
making a play off the joke of space Hong Kong.
Ah, fair. But I was like, the voice I heard before, he like gestures to the. You can still see the bandages that look fresher than last time because he has been like keeping up on the friggin' horrible burns he got. The voice I heard when I'm dealing with this thing, it sounded like a mafioso, stereotypically almost, but even then, I don't know.
Well, it's a good thing you got it off.
They were looking at me too.
They probably had something to do with the bracer being, well, fucked up. And if they have, they had their mitts on the bracer, oh god. Oh, sweet, merciful one, Mother.
Oh boy.
You can get
At this point, John is like, look between you, bracer? I mean, the Spectrum bracer, one of the Odyssey forged. It was on my arm, and he removes the bandages enough. Did this to me when I got it off, and it was dragging me across the planet for some ends. I only got away because I used a counterspell to interfere with the magic. And even then, it still did this. And he wraps it back up, and John is like, oh. Well then.
But if the Deslands have their mitts in it, who knows?
What have we tripped over?
I don't know.
Because now, like, Arvin starts counting on his fingers. There was the crashed airship they were all on, the facility itself where you were and I met them properly, the ruins in Belzatane, now just over here in Rillisert. There are crimes. I mean, I can guess why they'd want something like the Spectrum Bracer. I mean, powerful artifacts. You can do a lot with that, no matter what its actual effect is, even if it's just for intimidation. I mean, who's going to argue with someone who has, and he gestures to Skara, a sword that big that bursts into flames?
Idiots.
Or even someone wearing that, and he then gestures to Celestine in the armor of Stonehearth. You still have someone intimidating, or even just personal power.
I just know I don't like this.
Like thus far, all investigations were all in some way, shape, or form involved with this crime family. Whether directly or indirectly.
Seems so.
Well, those those soldiers you've seen a few times, the ones with the ice, they had the symbol from that facility, right? On them?
Yes.
Yes.
And that was tied to, well, he gestures to Zaki sort of sympathetically, your blood-related jackass. And what do you know about him?
Uncle? All I
Yeah.
can remember from when I was young, he was performing experiments trying to make some sort of super soldier.
Super soldier.
A lot of my childhood was a haze.
Hmm.
Got a lot to answer for, not just because of what he did to me. Father died trying to save me. As far as I know, he assassinated my mother years later.
Lovely.
Yeah. So, blood-related jackass was not an inaccurate description of him.
I would argue a bit of an understatement, but yeah, still accurate.
Fair enough. And then we found that man whose, I guess, image he stole in the room at the dig site with another one of his soldiers. And then What all went on with you in that facility? Who was the strange guy in white who was with you? The one who's really talked really happy like?
That was an angel of death, Clark. Aiden or Arvin.
Oh, that was one of Caius's.
Yes.
Apparently his name was Clark.
No, I think that's what Clark called himself. His actual name is apparently much fancier. Clark is definitely more. I know. Penlo's being polite.
Okay.
He seemed to enjoy this. He seemed to enjoy you being called Clark more.
What? Was he trapped there? Did he just show up and help you?
He seemed to have been trapped.
Yeah.
Did
Well, he
they do
told
anything
us.
to him?
Trying to remember what he told us. I just remember he woke up and he was there.
To help you out and also bring it along, he remembers your uncle taking something from him, and he assumes that was used to create the ice. He assumed that was used to create the ice zombies you were dealing with, and by extension, the super soldiers.
Not very super if we keep taking them out like bitches.
Well, I mean,
I
they're
never
still
said it was
experimental, and he only
successful.
had one sample of ice angel of death blood, so you gotta stretch that out, so you gotta dilute it. And since I assume you relay that to Arvin, it's like, so he made that from rather extreme to try to deal with something in the domain of the gods, but then, well, there's always a few of those types who aspire themselves to divinity.
Wouldn't put it past him.
There was, well, the only thing we've encountered that seems thus far unrelated is that he, like, shivers thing we saw when we were dealing with that cult.
Oh, that thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Faust.
Snake, you have gained 1 point of triggered.
Good.
I'm kidding.
I was
I'm
saying that
kidding.
joke works at 2 levels.
It does.
Welcome back, Darian.
Welcome back, Darian.
Thank y'all.
The party is currently catching up on what they know about their current situation.
I heard most of it. because I had you on speaker, so I think I'm still following.
Good to know.
Yeah. He also has the other one. Well,
There was him, but he didn't seem to be particularly keen on anything beyond just whatever his business was, aside from...
he also has the rocket.
Well, he also seemed to be more the problem of that fellow we met from Dragonor. Grim?
Yeah,
Grim, that was his name.
friendly pirates.
So it would seem.
The whole invisible.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, see the unseen.
Mm-hmm. So, ignore him.
Ignore
And
that
there was-
horrifying outlier.
Yeah. And there was... at the Trifecta Ruins,
So,
which... he was there, that was him, then we moved on to Domain of Conflict just recently, yesterday. And it tied into... he, like, glances at Celestine. Him... her... gestures to Jonna.
I love that.
Then, well, on the way out, he gestures towards towards Padma. You and I, apparently, at least possibly in my case. I hope not.
Definitely in mine, fortunately.
That's really good.
Wait a minute. Fenless,
Yes.
the tunic you're wearing, that was one of the Odyssey, right?
Indeed.
Where did you find that one?
It was in a.
The
Back
answer was
on.
in the facility at the start of the campaign.
I was
I'm
saying
trying to think if there was an actual name.
it was in a box in the back of a truck.
Where?
Yeah. It was in the box in the back of a truck,
The Niflheim
And
facility.
there was someone who seemed pleased.
But it was at that facility where we first met properly.
Yes.
Met properly, he means take an axe by Celestine.
He's trying to ignore that part. Don't bring it up.
Oh no, I'm not bringing it up in character.
That's still.
I know, but he's trying to not think about being on the wrong end of bark. Or actually, no, it was Stick that hit him.
Yep, it was Stick.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, someone was pleased.
The other
Well, to be fair, you were told to put it down by Alias posing as Orzal, who he might have just been fucking with you about the armor being picky.
At this point, I don't care. I'm gonna figure out his fucking deal anyway. I'm done fucking around with him. He won't
That was
answer
there.
me out of professional curiosity. Fine.
They'll do this the old-fashioned way, downright snooping.
And he looks at Sakio. Where did you find yours?
In a storage container, oddly enough.
Storage container. Where?
On the airship. That
It was just randomly in there?
yeah, strangely enough.
They're trying to collect them.
So yeah, he was.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
What for? I don't know, and I personally don't want to know.
What was the business of that airship, anyways? I didn't get far enough into the system before you guys all startled me.
I always
It was
assumed it
a
was just
smuggling operation, I think we discovered, wasn't it? I don't recall what we discovered, I'm being perfectly honest.
To TLDR, what you discovered, it was not intentional smuggling. You guys were just stuffed in crates, and they lied about what was in the crates you guys were all in.
Oh, that's right.
And the one survivor of the crew who wasn't apparently suddenly teleported away like everyone else was your buddy Matthias, who helped you out in that fight at the start of the campaign.
Yep. All because Snake was around.
Actually, no, Fenless is the one who fixed him up.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Fenless used the mending cantrip.
I just hacked.
Yeah. Smuggling. But to be fair, you also later just heard references to the numbers of the containers you guys brought in the Niflheim facility. So you were taken under the conception that you were being taken to the facility, and something went wrong along the way.
Which we discovered was some sort of sabotage?
It looked like sabotage, yeah.
If I remember.
It looked like it might have been sabotage. Something blew up in the engine room,
Yeah.
but you never really figured out what.
No, we never investigated.
Yeah.
And yeah,
So you're all en route to the facility with an Odyssey forged on the ship. There was one already there. There was that guy at that one place, and then Padma found hers in ruins. Two more were just found in the domain of conflict, and they have control over. He flexes his left hand a little bit. That one, or someone does. They're definitely after the Odyssey forged, but I mean, there's no, as far as I know, there's no lore of getting all 10 doing something incredible, or, well, I assume the original wielders would have been unstoppable or potentially still alive if they were strong enough with them all.
Might simply be a matter of stroking their own ego.
Ego. Ego!
Yeepa!
They're all playing golf. Stroking their own ego. Snack, please.
That must have still been emotionally fried.
I'm just petting Dimitri.
Yep.
Who's been very snuggly this whole time, by the way. Just on your neck, just rubbing up against your face and purring. Trying to be a good.
Thank you, Dimitri.
Sure. Well, both of you want to go to the reef. Going to Danakmos would just get us more of an idea of what we're potentially dealing with.
yeah.
I am coloring on the wrong layer.
Wrong layer! Also, since I remembered, I need to type something over here. Where the hell?
So yeah, that's how you.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
I was just about to say, kind of tries to help distract Padma from being emotionally fried and offers trail mix at some point. And I assume Dimitri would take some because
He plucks out like a.
Usually it's
roll to trail mix.
Yeah, he just plucks a piece of one of the peanuts out and starts chewing on it. Or bird chomp. All right then. As this is happening, Sneck.
Hi.
Yes, hi Sneck. Your cell phone starts going off.
I sigh because I immediately know where this is going.
Yeah, you know that ringtone.
And then I look at it.
Look at it. It is your uncle.
Okay.
Do you take the call?
Guess so.
Okay, we need a new song for this then.
Is it on speakerphone or no?
Yeah.
We'll get to that. Hold on.
I'm back. What'd I miss?
Sneck got a call.
Oh boy.
Of course.
I tried idly distracting you and gave you and Dimitri trail mix.
Thanks.
So, Sneck, regardless of how you answered the phone, it then cuts to speakerphone, which tends to happen when your uncle is particularly excited about something, so you're like, ah, fuck.
How does he do that?
Yeah.
And you hear this very, like... You know it's a kobold on the other end. You all are sure of this because it sounds a similar accent to Sneck, but at the same time, also sounds like a redneck.
Oh dear God!
Oh, nephew, I got the best story for you.
What is it?
Oh, found this really cool cave for like the kind of shiny stuff you usually really like, you know, little bits and baubles.
Yeah?
Yeah. There's also this really crazy lock I can't quite get through. But I figure if you can't pick it, you can shoot it because you're better with the shooties than I am.
I see.
Oh, thank you.
Also, hey, you're big on the religious-y things, right?
Yes.
Yeah, hold on, I gotta text you the image I took, but it looks like this. Sends you a picture, you look at it, it's the sigil of Caius.
Oh.
On a very strange, like, circular metal door set in a lot of stone.
Oh.
Oh dear.
Huh.
And then also, you slide through it, there's a second image, it shows that, it's not a big cave, or at least the door isn't that big, because your uncle is about, shows a picture like your uncle, you know how tall he stands? He takes it, the thing only goes like about another, from where he's standing, he looks like his top of his head is about 3/4 of the way up the door, so it's a small cave.
Oh boy.
And so he's like, so, hey, I'm thinking, like, if there's, like, some shiny shit at, like, some crazy good value, it's like, why don't we see what we can, you know, pawn off, and then take the rest of them religious-y types and see if there happens to be a reward in it for us. For being, you know, finder's fee and that sort. Also, I might be kind of trapped because there's, like, 6 bears out in these mountains. So I could use a bit of saving, if you don't mind.
Not to be shady.
Well, I guess you take no for an answer.
I mean, it would just mean it has to be a bit crafty about getting out of here, but not to help.
Okay.
Oh shit, it's back again. I'll call you back. Get lost, you dang idiot! You hear a shotgun going off and then the phone goes dead.
Your uncle. Padma is just staring at me. Your uncle seems like an exciting person.
That's one way to put it.
And he wants to fuck around with something related to Caius?
Well, I think he wants me to, is the thing.
I assume he doesn't have a fucking clue who that is. The uncle, obviously not.
Yeah. Also, the phone comes back up and you hear like some... the phone starts again. It's his ringtone again. He's calling back.
Okay, I guess I pick it up.
Back on speakerphone immediately. You hear some growling and another shotgun blast. Oh yeah, it'd probably help if I told you where I was. So, I'm, hold on. Fuck this stupid phone. Where's the GP thingy? GP thingy. There's the thingy. Where the phone? Tell me where the fuck I'm at. Please say it again clearly. Where the fuck am I at? Please say again. Location. One moment. For like dial-up noises. Here's some dial-up noises for a second, and then just like current location, Bailiff Mountains. And he's like, where in Bailiff Mountains? Northeast corner of Arbellum. Which, for reference, to help out, it's saying he's roughly like up here.
That's northwest one.
Northwest, whatever. Or, well, whatever. He's like right around here then. Because I said northeast.
Yeah, northeast corner of Arbellum, yeah.
I was looking here, so I meant here, but like I said northeast, so I'll just commit to it.
Am I familiar with that section of mountains, or no?
Not really.
Okay.
And, location, how high up? Approximately... Pause. Dial-up noises again. Approximately 2.5 miles above sea level. Yeah, we're kind of high up. And again, it's a little... Go away! Oh, for friggin'... Hold on. Here, take some jerky and fuck off. Jeez! Stupid bears, I don't even smell that good. You then hear distant growling. Like, oh, shut up!
Well, I guess I will try to head over there.
Oh, thank you, nephew. It's getting kind of sketchy. I mean, phone, how long have I been up here again? Approximately 3 weeks.
Oh,
Yeah.
Right, thank you.
Well, try not to get killed by bears
What?
before I arrive.
I didn't
Can
know.
do.
Friday.
Oh shit, coming back. Oh no, what is that? Oh no. I gotta go. Bye.
Give it to Monday when I see.
Out of
Wow.
character, I love Uncle Cobra.
fucking hell.
I told you the song was. I told you we needed more fitting music. I told you.
Yeah, this is pretty fitting.
I would say that would be the more
Pressing.
immediate priority to get
Same
out.
as-
Yeah, except he wants me to investigate a cave that I would barely fit in. So,
Belongs to-
not to mention this is
also
more of a-
belongs to the god of death.
Life and death.
yeah.
I wouldn't
I mean,
fuck with that shit lightly.
I mean, I'm curious about it too, but since I would barely fit in there, and this is kind of a family issue, and you guys kind of have bigger things to worry about,
Well, I mean,
so I will head out alone and
never
join back
split
up
the
with you
party.
at some point.
Don't worry. This is going places. Also, you hear like when he says alone, you hear some beeping from Snackbot. Beep boop.
Well, if it's related to Caius, who knows if the unfortunate people following us will find that and will go there as well or not. What?
So as you start saying this, you hear a knock on the door of the bus.
Oh boy.
I open the door to the bus.
Hi guys, it's Clark.
Oh, dear.
Oh, hey, friend.
Hello.
Hello.
Clark.
Lark?
Long time no see.
Hi, boss said there was a little guy near one of the places out in the thing, and he points in like the direction he thinks it is, and he was calling someone here, someone to see who it was, and I found you guys. So do you know who's outside the thingy?
That would
Related
be
to our little
my
couple.
uncle.
Yeah.
Oh, he might be in danger, so we should probably go get him.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okie dokie, I can lead you to it if that would help.
I have my own ride.
No, I don't mean like take you there. I can't teleport you there. I'm not allowed to.
That's unfortunate.
I think
But I
you
can like give you directions and help you get there.
Yeah, that's fine.
Now make sure bad guys don't jump at you. And he does like this like little loot thing.
Thank you, my savior.
Happy to help, little buddy. It's nice seeing you guys again. He waves at you all.
Padma just kind of laughs.
Arvin and Shauna both look very confused.
We
I
told
wasn't
you
kidding.
about Clock, Arvin.
I told you we befriended an angel of death.
Okay.
Well, I'll see you guys around, I guess, hopefully.
No, I
I'll
think
make
we're
sure he
all...
comes back, okay?
Okay. Stay safe, Snick.
I'll
Next
try.
Sneck and Sneckbot get on the sneaky scoot.
And before I go, I say it's probably best if I stay safe from my uncle.
Arvin, that's right. Before you go, can I get your number? He holds up his phone.
Oh, yeah. And I give him my phone number.
Yep. Trade cell number so you can keep in touch.
Yay.
Significantly more graceful exit than Scanlan had.
Right?
But then, yeah. And so after that, the door closes. Sneck and Sneckbot get on the sneaky scoot, and you see Clark create like a motorized unicycle and hop on and just follow Sneck.
Oh my god.
He's just this like angel of death on this like powered unicycle. And hold on, I'll be right back.
Seems fucking legit.
Also fitting for this music.
You're right.
Do you have somewhere to go next week, Snick, or?
Mm, we have plans.
Okay. I just figured because this sounds like a temporarily I must go, my planet needs me thing.
For snack, maybe.
I must go, my stupid uncle needs me.
Yeah, basically.
That awkward moment where the party tries to come along to help when they don't know what's going on out of character.
I'm back. Yeah, this was Sneck's idea, by the way.
Fucking crazy goofball redneck uncle.
Redneck Cobalt Uncle.
Yeah, right?
Also, I can't do a redneck accent to save my life.
It was
I
good.
try.
It was amusing.
That was the goal.
You have to implement words like root and tootin'.
Yeah, I forgot that.
You root bears.
Rudy Tooty, point and shooty.
Probably what he calls his gun.
Nah, that's the boomstick.
That's
Yo,
very,
boomstick!
that is very redneck.
Yes, unfortunately, Sneck has left the party, and so has Sneckbot.
Okay.
He did, however, somehow manage to take the pieces of those metal bugs with him, because you did harvest those successfully, Sneck.
Oh, yay.
So yeah, you could probably along the way potentially upgrade Sneckbot, maybe. Who knows?
That'll be nice.
And then Jonah like looks at what just happened, just sort of like, okay, then just like goes back to one of the books she found, just starts reading again. And I was like, that was Clark?
That was Clark.
That was Clock.
Okay.
What were you expecting?
Not that.
Fair enough.
That was
Not
Padma-
that.
Padma was just, that was your first mistake, Arvin.
He like actually pauses. Yeah, I guess it was.
And And we're still at our impasse of what do we do?
Arvin Light looks at us. Well, 2-1 to hit the reef anyways.
Will the bus make it across that stretch of water?
You made it across the ocean from... I mean, like, the bus would have to go... You'd have to get from here to, like, down to here, and then down to here, and then across to here. Because the reef is this, like, little nook here.
Okay, so it's not like barging across the ocean all.
Yeah, no, you wouldn't have to go, like, down here, down to here. It'd be... You'd have a smaller thing. You'd go from, like, about this little, like, Florida-looking nook to freaking Maine over here, and then cut across to Washington.
We went from Florida down to Maine and across to Washington.
It's the best I can describe the way these things look. Okay, shut up.
It was funny.
But yeah, you'll have to go across the desert, through Arbellum, down south, cut across this little strait here, down to Nexima, and then across Nexima to the reef proper.
I mean, it's the best idea we've got, short of going to the Necmos.
And to be fair, it's a decently sized bus. It might get cramped with more friends in it, but you could theoretically bring them with you.
Paimon just wants to make sure they're okay, not necessarily invite them on the party.
Well, no, like, invite them along, like, bring them, like, it'd be an escort quest at that point. Just bring the NPCs to a safe place.
The Yggdrasil Reef is pretty damn safe. Padma's just paranoid.
True.
She just wants to make sure they're okay, not necessarily escort.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't there a way to contact them?
I got rid of my phone and that had their numbers in it. I've been too scared to try calling them back.
Ooh. I was like, how long ago was this?
Arvin, think about how long I've been home.
I mean, I'm just making sure.
Out of character about 4 years?
It's a long time to be in hiding by the reef.
It's the Deadlands.
True.
Plus I noted that Lupita's family was there, so they're staying with Lupita's family.
Okay.
Her dad had 5 bazillion aunts. As alliance.
Mm-hmm. In that case, actually, Padma, your phone starts ringing now.
Who the hell? She answers it.
Well, you knew the number. It was Mom.
Mom?
Hey, honey, do you know someone, and like, she sounds really awkward. Corfergener? How do you pronounce this?
That's Corey.
Oh, that's your friend!
Yeah.
Oh, I got a letter from him for you.
A letter. Like, snail mail?
Snail mail, yeah.
Yeah, that's Corey, alright.
And it's arcanely sealed, so I can't even open it to tell you what's in it.
That would be more Lupita.
So, I assume it's important, given, things.
Yeah, it would be.
So, did you want me to send it to you, or did you want to come get it?
I mean, I might as well pick it up because we had one of our ideas was currently heading towards Denakmos for something.
Oh, okay.
Oh, knowledge. I say in the background. Assuming I'm overhearing at least Padma's side of the conversation.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you're sitting near her, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, what Zakio said if you heard him.
Well, there's not much you can go for towards Denakmos for unless it's, well, business or looking something up. So
This is fair.
yeah, I'll keep that safe for you.
Thank you, Mom.
So, should I expect you soon, or wait?
Paimon looks at everyone. So I take. Oh, so Publisher. So vote now. Are we heading towards Denakmos or?
Denakmos or the Reef?
I would say
I mean, if you had-
Akbos now, especially because you have that letter waiting, it's probably some sort of status update.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I would say the same thing more so. I was inclined to switch my vote to the Reef just to check on your friends, but if there's a message from them,
Yeah, I guess we'll be heading there soon.
all right.
Don't let the Munchkins try to touch it. They've been poking around arcane stuff.
Oh, they've learned their lesson from a little something yesterday.
Oh dear, who got a finger burned?
Well, more like it was a lightning spell, so a bit more hair on end.
Ah,
They're okay, but a little bit more wary about poking things they don't understand.
all right.
Bless their hearts, they try though.
That they do.
I'll see you in a few days then. Bye.
Bye.
Mick.
Guess we're heading for Denakmos then. better to go into this somewhat prepared and not half cocked.
I would agree, yeah.
Very true. Are you sure you want a merc in another life?
No, but when you perform in Marnat long enough, you learn common sense.
Among other things.
I assume I know of Marnat and kind of.
Yeah,
Oh,
no, you
I'm
absolutely have heard. You've heard all sorts of stories, and they're like ones like, "I'll stay the fuck away, thanks." Is the general
it's
gist?
just, I just
gotten.
haven't actually been there myself. It's just stories.
No, you've never been there. You have caught. You have like a few times put out, picked up like bounties to pick up some guys who were fleeing Marnat from like the rest of their gang turning on them. So you've dealt with a few like Marnat criminals, but never like actually been there and seen them in like their
I've
natural
never
habitat.
physically been on.
Yeah.
You don't want to.
You also a few times got the impression that one of the contracts was put out by a rival gang to fuck with a deal, and that's why you never got like ganked by any other gang.
Huh?
Yeah, that's happened at least twice. You're pretty sure, or at least you think that's the case because you've seen a few movies in your day.
Either because they know I'm good enough to not fuck with me, or because I'm fucking with another gang for them. God damn.
Or they're like, why bother with the fucking little bitch man who just got a fucking merc, just picked up a merc bounty? Just go for the guys who called it in.
Yup.
What hackers are for.
Damned hackers.
Mm-hmm.
At least they're smart and considerate enough to not essentially shoot the messenger, so to speak.
Yeah. Actually, there was one time where this dude in like, he struck you as like kind of a like Yakuza Zero looking dude, like that kind of dude. He showed up, like asked you some questions about a job you did, and you just answered him because like you're like, I don't give a shit. You did what you were paid to do, which was catch this guy, and he's like, thanks, and then he left. You never saw him again. Like that's the closest
Either
you've come to.
succeeded or died.
Yeah, like that's the closest you're pretty sure you ever came, because like it was a few days later you thought in retrospect that was probably a mafioso I was talking to 3 days ago. That's just like chilling in your apartment watching TV on like an off day.
Off day, sewing up another wound from a beast contract.
Yeah. But at this point, we'll actually call the session there,
Okay.
because
Okay.
it seems like a good enough stopping point, and so we don't go too late when there's really not a lot happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here. And you'll find out other things and stuff later. I hit stop on the
The
fucking song.
things.
Thank you.
In that case, I will be back.
Yuki.
Alright, that's actually going to do it for my stream here this evening as well, guys. We will be back tomorrow with some more Wings of Liberation raid. Gonna work on getting that clear, hopefully, or make some more progress at the very least on Guardian. Thank you all so much for watching. If you haven't already and enjoy the content, be sure to hit that follow button. And if you really enjoyed the content, they are never required, but they do help me out and let me know in a tangible way that you guys like the content and want to see more. You can always throw a tip or a sub my way. Again, never required, but always appreciated. If you would like to know when I go live, I'm typically live Saturday, Sunday, and Mondays. But if you want to know exact times, because sometimes I do run a little late because of work. My Twitter.com/JinxMcNinja is a good place to see when I go live. I also have my own Discord, which I will also announce there when I go live, whether it's on a scheduled day or not. So we will be back tomorrow with some more raid. And until then, guys, peace.